Hello and welcome to Biology 262. This is section 30 for summer 2020. So this video, I want to walk through how to navigate Blackboard and then cover the syllabus. So to begin with, if you click on our class, initially there aren't any announcements posted, but this is the area that most of our communication will be made through. So the announcements typically will go directly to your email, but then this is going to be kind of a running catalog of all announcements that are made. So first, let's go to the syllabus. This will kind of dominate our discussion in this video. So if you click this link, this will pull up our syllabus. So here you can see Summer 2020 Bio 262, Human Anatomy and Physiology Laboratory. So the first page is really the overarching schedule for this semester or for the term. So you'll notice the dates on the left-hand column. So starting July 8th, we're covering our first content. Then you have the topic that's being covered during that laboratory. And then there is a column for instructor. So because this is over the summer, we have to stretch out who is actually teaching what class. So we'll have multiple instructors. So my name is Robert Skolik. I'll be covering the first few lectures. Then Jesse Rosa will be covering many of the BioPack lectures. And then Dr. Masters will be covering a few lectures as well. So just bear with us. We have multiple TAs, but this is our second round of teaching. So hopefully this will run a bit more smooth than our first attempt. Okay, so that is the third column. Then the fourth column, this has this is indicating whenever a quiz or exam is being administered. So you'll notice that these are open between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. That doesn't mean you have 12 hours to complete it. This just means you can access these assignments anytime between 8 and 8 p.m. So your first quiz will be on July 14th. I would recommend doing it earlier than later. If you have any questions, you can then email Dr. Masters and he can fix any problems that you may have. So just recognize this is where you should be tracking assignments. And then we have our two exams that are highlighted in yellow here. First one will be on July 27th. Second one will be on August 10th. And the same rule applies that you can access it between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Then the final column over here is the assignments tab or assignments column. So all of these assignments will be due before midnight on that respected date. So starting on July 8th, we have a lecture covering the axial skeleton. You then have an assignment due that will be on visible body. So this is another platform that we'll be using. And this will be due at midnight or before midnight on July 8th. And you'll be able to track additional assignments throughout the semester. And they will all, again, be due by midnight on their respected date. Okay, so that's just the outline for the semester. Let's talk about just what exactly this class is. So this class, in order to be enrolled in Bio 262, you must have completed Bio 260 with a grade of a C or better, and either be enrolled in 261 or already have completed it. So this is the laboratory portion of human anatomy and physiology. In general, we're covering all aspects of human anatomy and physiology. So in addition to just identifying structures, we really want you to be able to identify the functions of those structures. So that would be the physiology component of this course. So as I said, we have multiple instructors, so please use this table as a reference for whenever you need to ask a question. So if you need to ask a question about the content that we covered, so if you're confused about what is the function of the brachioradialis muscle, contact the person who is covering and responsible for that lecture. So those three options would be Jesse Rosa, me, Robert Skolik, or Dr. Masters. So you should be consulting this first page. So if there's a question that you have on the first lecture on the axial skeleton, you then need to email Robert Skolick. So you go down here, find the email address, and send an email to Robert Skolick. If you have a concern about the technology, so how to submit an assignment, how to access Visible Body, how to access the quizzes or lectures, please email Dr. Masters. And then if you have a question about your grading, so if you have a question about how things are being graded, if you think you should have a higher grade than you do, if you have a question about what you got wrong, please contact our graders. So we have 3 graders, Ladan, Clinton, and David. So I think the best approach would be to send one email, but have the email address to all 3 TAs. If you take that approach, you'll most likely get a response very quickly. Okay, so that is just how you should be communicating with the TAs for this class. The next thing that I want to cover is the text and materials that you'll need. So this will be the first time that we do not use a physical lab manual like we have been using for the past several years. So since we're switching to an online version, we are going to be adopting this platform called Visible Body. So this is kind of like a virtual textbook, and you'll have actual assignments that are given through this software. So in order to obtain Visible Body, we will send you an invitation link and with instructions on how to sign up. The next piece of material that you'll need for this class will be provided to you on Blackboard. So these will be material for biopacks. So biopacks are indicated here on the syllabus. Our very first one will be on July 15th. If we were meeting in class, we would be performing actual physiology experiments. So for the EMG biopack, we would be attaching electrodes to the forearm and then monitoring electrical activity. Because we were not meeting in person, we have to adapt these to be online, but we're still going to try and preserve what we would be doing in the lab. So you can access this material through Blackboard. It will be posted in the content folder for that lab, and again, you do not have to purchase any of this content. Then finally, you need to download and install the Respondus Lockdown browser. So this is going to be the way we proctor our exams and quizzes. So this requires an internet connection and a camera to record you as you take your quizzes and exams so that we can prevent cheating for this term. So there will be a document on how to download it. After you read that document, click this link, and this will take you directly to the Respondus site where you can download and install the browser. Okay, so just general objectives for this course. Like I said, this is anatomy and physiology, so we want you to be able to identify structures. We're going to be providing you with a pretty healthy terms list each week where you'll need to identify a ton of structures, but in addition to that, we want you to ask why we have those structures. So thinking critically about what those structures are doing and what happens whenever those structures are not working correctly. So we're asking you to take it a step beyond anatomy and really integrate physiology. Okay, so now this next page, let's focus on how grading is going to be broken down for this class. So here you'll see the breakdown percentage-wise of how the different grades will be factored into your final grade. So our Visible Body and patient connection homeworks will be 30% of your grade. So this is going to be 2 parts. So these are the things that you'll see for assignments. So Visible Body, patient connection. So these patient connections are going to also be provided to you. So this is going to require you to read an article and answer questions from that article. So these are actual peer-reviewed papers that have clinical implications. So we want you to be able to apply your knowledge to actual peer-reviewed content. So if we add those two together, the Visible Body and patient connection homework assignments, these will be a total of 30% for your grade. Then the biopack physiology activities that I already referenced will be an additional 20%. So in total, 50% of your grade will be coming from more or less homework assignments. Then 20% of your grade will be coming from quizzes. So we'll have a total of 7 quizzes, and we are accepting the top 6 grades. So this means that you get to drop one of your quizzes. So the worst quiz will be automatically dropped from your final grade. And then the final component will be the lab practical exams. So we have 2 of those. Each of those are 15% for a total of 30% for your grade. And then the grading scale, we do not implement the plus-minus system. So 89.5 and above will be an A, 79.5 to 89.4 will be a B, and on down the list. Okay, so for general formatting, each laboratory topic, we will provide you with a folder in course content, and I will walk you through that in just a minute on how to identify what you need for each lab. So we'll provide you with a terms list. There will be a video prepared for you, and then there will be additional information if that lab requires it. So the videos, they are not required, but they should greatly help you for studying for the quizzes and exams. So again, each lab topic will have its own folder, and then there will be content in that folder. For visible body, there will be assignments posted covering each topic. These assignments, again, will be due the day that the topic is deployed. So starting on July 8th, there will be a visible body assignment due that day. For patient connections, these articles and the question sets will be posted in this content folder. So that will be available again through Blackboard, and these assignments will be submitted on Blackboard. So there will be a folder for you to submit these assignments. And then the biopack activities, again, these will be provided on Blackboard, and then the 7 quizzes will be provided through the Respondus lockdown browser. And so will the practicals. Okay, so let's look at policies. So if you require additional time due to a disability, please contact us immediately so that we can make those accommodations. Sexual misconduct while we're working virtually, it still can happen. So please reach out if there is anything wrong. Just know that we have to report it. So if you report it to a TA, it's not confidential. We do have to report it to the university, but please speak up if you're experiencing anything like that. With regard to submitting work late, you can submit work late. You lose 5% per day. So if you submit the assignment 1 day late, you lose 5%, 2 days, 10%, all the way up to 5 days. After 5 days, we will not accept the assignment. So you will get a 0 at that point. Collaboration, plagiarism, we do generally expect collaboration in this lab. However, we recognize that collaboration is not the same as plagiarism. So you need to be submitting words that you've generated yourself. You're not simply going to be able to copy and submit answers for this course. So if we do catch that, it will be reported. Next, spelling is a huge component of this course. So many students taking this course will be going into a healthcare setting if something is misspelled in a healthcare setting. So if insulin is misspelled as inulin, this could end up being lethal to the patient. So we're going to be very stringent with spelling. If you misspell a word, you will only get partial credit for that answer. And then finally, with regard to practicals, please, if you're going to miss a practical, let us know ahead of time. It's so much easier for both parties if you let us know ahead of time. Okay, then the final page here is referencing critical thinking in anatomy and physiology. So please reference this document whenever you're completing the patient connection articles. It will often ask you about the specific elements of reasoning that the authors are using, and this should be kind of like a study guide for that assignment. Okay, so that concludes the syllabus. Let's hop into Blackboard and look at the rest of the content that's on Blackboard. So each lab you want to click on the assignments tab, then the respected folder will be there. Before you get started, I would first suggest that you go through these documents. So here is just a general how to study for human anatomy and physiology. So this was very helpful to previous students. Just 3 pages. I would recommend reading that before you get started in the lab. Then there is information for visible body. So here's a link on how visible body will actually work. So it's 12 pages. There's not a lot of reading though. It's mainly screenshots from the actual website. So I would recommend you read that. And then there's a link for you to register for visible body. Then there is an analogous set of documents for Respondus. So here's a link to information for the Respondus Lockdown browser, and then a link for you to download and install the Respondus Lockdown browser. So again, you need the Respondus Lockdown browser to complete the quizzes, and you need Visible Body to complete the homework assignments. Then for each lab, there is going to be a folder posted with content for that folder, or with content for that lab. So the first lab is the axial skeleton. If you click this, you'll notice the syllabus video will also be posted here, but then there is a video for the lecture. So if you click this link, it'll take you to the video. Then there is a terms list. So there's going to be a terms list for each lab, and this is more or less our contract with you. This is the content that you have to know for the quizzes and exams. So it is a list of terms. You should not only be able to identify where those structures are, but have a general idea of what the function is for each structure. Then there is going to be a PowerPoint. In general, most of us will post a PowerPoint that will supplement the video. So I've just posted the PowerPoint that I cover in the video, so you're welcome to download this and use this as a study resource. And then finally, there's going to be a link for Visible Body, and this will take you to the assignment that you need to complete by midnight the day of the content for that respected lab. So in general, I think this covers everything you need to know to get started in this class. Please reach out if you have any questions.